G'day guys, we're going to go into a new series called the Wacky Investment Ideas and stuff like that. Obviously, any of these investment ideas are not recommendations in the slightest. Um, don't try these investment ideas, especially if you have no idea what you're doing. It's just kind of some niche investment ideas that I've seen, and to just take a deep dive and an analysis on what they are, what they do, what the big risks are, what the big benefits are. Some of them do have some good results, but at the same time, they have some big pitfalls and big risks, and that's probably the main reason why they're niche assets and wacky investment ideas in the first place. Don't do this at all. I do not recommend to do this. I do not know your personal circumstances. This is just a pure analysis, and this will probably be at the beginning of every single video that I do on these sort of ideas. Enjoy the show, and enjoy the deep dive into some crazy investment ideas. G'day guys. Well, this is going to be our first episode of Wacky Investment Ideas, and this is a show where we just stress test the hell out of some wacky investment ideas, which are just outside the norm. So outside the normal stocks and shares, property, gold bullion, and stuff like that as well. And it's going to go into other niche assets, and we're going to go into their strong suits and also at the same time their weak suits as well. And we're going to really take a deep dive into this. Now, this one in particular, the first one that we're doing, is about Legos, and the main reason for this is if you guys are, if you guys know I'm a CSGO caster, you may know who exactly I'm talking about, or who's been promoting Legos recently as a new form of investment, which got me thinking. I'm just like, the statistic that was posted was that it returned more than the S&P 500. Basically, Lego returned 11% return on investment, which is quite high, which was higher than the S&P 500. But we're going to get digging into it and digging into those figures to see whether it's true, the risks and benefits, and things you have to just kind of look out for. So let's quickly get into the ins and out of Lego investing and what it actually is, first of all. Okay, so what is Lego investing? So what is Lego investing? So Lego investing is, obviously Lego is a collectible. So, obviously people build sets out of it. So how do they make a profit out of this hobby, okay? Like, how do they make a profit out of it? I don't know why it's trying to correct me every single time, but how do they make a profit out of it? So first of all, how to make a profit out of it is this. So what they do is they buy sets, usually during sales, and then hold these sets until they retire. Then 6 to 24 months after retirement, they put it up on eBay, Amazon, etc. Okay, you get it pretty much. So that's the way how they do it. Okay, that's the ideal way. Now, the reason why they separate 6 to 24 months, or specifically mention it, is because that is where the prime ROI is made, okay? Now, there's not really much empirical evidence backing it. In fact, I only found one article which details it on a site called Bricklink, I believe. And that's the only area where, that is the only site where you can see sales metrics and other information. Now, I think it was Brick Nerd wrote an article about this as well. And the reason why I chose 6 to 24 months is that's the prime ROI. That's where the 11.5% that is quoted comes from. Okay? So that's what it is pretty much. So pretty much is you buy, let's say Lego Death Star, for example. Okay, I have no idea about Lego investing, okay? You basically buy it on a sale. You wait for it to retire, so they don't make it anymore, and then you wait, and then you list it 6 to 24 months after, and then after at a higher price, and hope it sells, basically. Okay, so this is a typical collector strategy, is that you are trying to get the nostalgia and also the scarcity as well of the investment, because you can't buy it at stores anymore. So that's what you're really targeting, those two areas. And nostalgia being the fact that people want to still play Legos like they did when they were a kid. And since Legos has existed for about 60 years or so, that's what you're targeting. You're not targeting anything logical. So be aware of that as well. Like, you're not targeting any income or whatever it is. You're targeting something someone may want to buy for their kid, or vice versa. So a lot of people go into the logical brain set and be like, oh, what? Like, what are we going to buy Legos for? What are we going to do for Legos for? It's just entertainment. That's the point. It's just for entertainment, okay? Just entertainment, just for the nostalgia trip. Building a Lego Death Star like they did back in the days and stuff like that. So that is pretty much it. Now, we will get to the problems of it in just the not problems of it, just the benefits of it as well. So the benefits of it is that some sets have a high ROI, okay? So some sets are popular than others. Now, most people will look at, themed ones, such as Star Wars, okay? Star Wars, Marvel, etc, okay? I gotta say, like, since this is caught on for about 6 months, I gotta say they've probably got to be oversupplied at this point. And those are the things as well, like the well-known ones will probably have an ROI and probably sell very, very quickly. Those are probably the main benefit of it, is that you can get some serious return on investment. But the problem is that it's also a collectible as well. So collectibles are only valued in the eyes of the holder. It's not got any logical price backing it. So you can have some sets that you have that can be, you think they are not very good, but someone's going to pay 500% of what you bought it for it. And that's pretty much, your return on investment is that much. So let's just say you bought a set for $50, for example, and then, let's say 6 months later, this is ideal circumstances, by the way, ideal circumstances for 6 months of retiring, someone wants to buy it for $250. You just made $200 profit. Okay? That's pretty much it. Now, when you think about these 50% and 60% returns, you got to be well aware to get those returns. It has to go back into the logical space on how risky this sort of asset is. Okay? Now, let's go to the downsides of it, and we can probably discuss the big benefits and the big downsides of it as well, and also benefits. Now, another benefit is that it doesn't require much hands-on effort other than waiting. Okay, you can effectively as well potentially just cycle through multiple sets. So basically, you don't have to wait for one set to retire and that's it. You can just keep cycling through them. So you have a income stream for about 2 to 4 years, depending on how it goes, of course. This is ignoring, of course, the volatility of these sort of assets as well. So yeah, so that's the sort of thing with Lego investing is what I've noticed. Now, the more hands-on area, like the hands-on area of it, comes around storage, keeping it mint condition, and last but not least, delivering the goods if using Amazon, eBay, Bricklink, whatever, okay? Now, we're just going to clean up the screen for a bit as well. What are the risks of Lego investing? Now, the big thing is always collectibles, okay? Since it's a collectible, there is nothing tangible backing its value, okay? It is just FOMO, hype, whatever. So just be aware of that as well. Like, you can have a set that takes forever to sell, and there is information backing this as well. You can check Brick Nerd's article. There's information where some sets take about average of 4 to 5 years to sell. Okay, that's one risk in particular. You are not earning any income while holding on to a Lego set. So, with companies in S&P 500 and stuff like that, where you get a bit of a dividend on the side, you do not get any income from holding a Lego. Okay, in fact, you actually lose money the longer you hold on to a Lego for. Now, someone would be like, no, but it sells. But you have to wait for it to sell. Okay, while you're holding it, you actually lose money. Now, someone may go, oh, I can just store it in my back shed and stuff like that. I'm talking about scalability of it. Like, if you want to scale it up to be a source of income, like your big source of income, you're going to need storage, okay? You're going to need big storage. Like, you're going to have to be selling probably the turnover rate. You probably want to be holding a lot, a warehouse or a garage, something like that. Not like a big warehouse, but like a garage suit of Legos. You go in there, deliver and stuff like that, because you are not going to be able to earn a decent income by only selling 1 or 2 Legos, okay? I think it's going to be really, really bad sort of thing if you do that. Now, while I'm saying you're not earning any income when you're holding a Lego set, you've got an opportunity cost of your storage. And if you're paying for your storage, you got expenditure there as well. Now, the main thing is, like, with your expenditure of storage, if an item, because given the fact that these don't sell at 2 years, these things can go straight out to 10 years, something like that. Or you can even lose on your investment, which means you got further loss compounding on your storage as well. Now, storage, what I got told was $100 per month for a garage, okay? And I'm not sure how big Legos are to fit how many in there. Let's just say you can probably fit, let's say, 100 Legos in there. Maybe even more. Okay, let's just say 250. Now, that's pretty cheap from the scheme of it, but you pay $1,200 a year. You need to make sure you get that plus the cost of your Lego. So let's go through this way as well. So basically, let's say you can store 150 Legos, okay? Now, you bought those Legos at 50, okay? $50 each. Let's say they sell, all of them sell. These are bad assumptions, by the way. The average sell, let's just say they sell in 2 years, okay? So you got 150 Legos at 2 years, and you sold them at, let's just say 150, okay? Like, say, triple the price. This is assuming no losses and stuff like that either. Now, you would have kept, your storage would have been 2,400. Now, let's go through expenses. So you got storage, 2,400. You got postage and handling. I'm not sure how that is handled, so let's just keep it null and void. You got Legos, being at $50 each, so you got 150, so 50 times 150, 5,000, 7,500. Okay. Now, you spent 9,900 on storage and stuff like that as well. We'll ignore postage and handling in the meantime, and you may, it's how much you get. You basically did that much. Now, this part is going to be like, oh wow, it's actually really, you could be really, really fruitful as well. So 9,900, just be aware that that's the figure of how much it costs. Now you got 150, Legos, so you got 15 grand. Then half that, you got 22,500. Okay. Now obviously, this is a good ROI. Okay, like you've basically made double your money. That's pretty much like the idea of it. You made double your money, which is great. Now, the thing is, we've done it on a very, very good scenario where all of them sell. And basically, if, like I say right now, if half of them don't sell, you're pretty much going to say right now, you're just basically beating inflation, okay? Like, at that stage. And if it takes longer to sell, it gets worse. Now, this is on the ideal time frame. The reason why I say it's an ideal time frame, 2 years is ideal, okay? 2 years is the good range. It's at the end of the good range, basically. 150, which is 300 times its price, is also an unbelievable figure as well. Okay, sometimes it takes 3 to 4 years for these things to sell, which means the storage costs go up. As you can see here, 2,400 goes to 3,600, goes to 4,800, and it gets worse and worse and worse, basically. So you can see, in the ideal circumstance, you can get great ROI. Let's just stretch it out. Let's just say 150, let's say half of them don't sell, so you bought 150, only 75 sell, takes 4 years, let's say it takes 5 years, 4 years to sell, which is on the bad end. And 75, like I say, 75 to sell is on a pretty bad end as well. And you sell them for 100, okay? So, pretty much, let's go from the start. So, basically 50. Let's go for $50. So, obviously, the cost of 150 is, obviously, you still got them there, is, I'm not having a good day, it's 7,500, okay? Now, storage is going to go up to 4,800, okay? And now you can see here where you're still making an absolute loss, okay? Like a huge, huge loss. So it's 12,300 for Fingo. So now, you sold it at 7,500. So you can see how big of a loss that is. So you can see how much your expenses have gone up. And you had choose a poor investment where some of them didn't sell. You're still holding on to them. And you can see here already, over 4 years, you've lost money. So I just want to really hammer down there as well of how risky this is, okay? Like, your market is not filled by anything tangible backing it whatsoever because it's a collectible. So you need to be extremely careful as well. Now, the other part is that the reason why I highlight this, the risks internally of it, is that it has liquidity risk. Now, liquidity risk is basically how quickly can you turn it into cash? And I'm gonna say, it ain't liquid. It is very illiquid. Inventory turnover, okay? There's a statistic from BrickNerd, and basically there's a very small corner of it going well, and there's like I say right now, 50% of the sets are either at a loss and probably will not sell for 5 to 6 years, okay? inventory turnover risk as well, because you may have sets sitting there for 6+ years, okay, where you're gonna make a loss, okay, 100%, most likely. So not only you got liquidity risk, you got inventory turnover risk. Next up, you got, like, this is also goes into as well, oversupply risk. The more people know, the worse it gets, because everyone's gonna be jumping on and selling these sets, and everyone's gonna be losing money, okay, because not many people are gonna be buying it either. So you gotta realize there's a little niche market. The reason why the big guys aren't in here, because it's a really small sandpit to play in, okay? Really small sandpit. You can only have probably, like I say, probably a couple of hundred people operating the sandpit and making a lifestyle income in it as well. So you can tell with some of these wacky investment ideas, they're a bit wacky and have a lot of risk associated with it as well. I mean, we went through a worked example just then over it as well, and you can see already the cracks start to appear in the Lego bricks, which is quite ironic given that Lego bricks don't literally crack, but you can see how, you know, how risky it actually is. Now, some people have a newsletter or tips on what Legos to buy. All I'm gonna say is that is just a recipe for oversupply. Okay, it's a recipe for oversupply. And yeah, I'm just gonna say I think it's just a bit of greed from people who've made a bit of money from Legos, got a bit lucky, and saying you can be lucky like me by doing this and stuff like that. I just gotta say, a lot of people who do this sort of newsletters, they do kind of go through the promotions of get rich quick schemes, which you need to be very careful of, and that's a kind of a red flag there as well. But we're not discussing that. We're discussing the risks of it as well, and you can see here, everyone was actually going, oh, how do I get in and stuff like that. But now you can see that you can actually incur some significant losses if stuff doesn't go your way. Okay, and it's very easily the stuff can not go your way either. Oversupply is very easy in the sector. It is very easy to oversupply the market and stuff like that. There are a lot of YouTube videos of anecdotal people saying, I did this, I did that. I think they're more on the luckier end, or they don't talk about the losses on other sets. They only talk about the big wins. This is like a pseudonym, not pseudonym, sorry, a psyche of day trading, where they only talk about their wins. Like, I made 200% on lithium dick mining or whatever it is. But they will never talk about, oh no, I've lost my entire investment on paper bark, solar panel, whatever it is. I don't even know what investments are. I don't even know what they're, real investment. But, that's the sort of psyche that it comes down to. That's what I feel a lot that's in these Lego investments, is that it is all about hype, FOMO. Someone gets good and sells a, Pokemon card or Lego for 5 times the price, and everyone wants to get in on it basically. Next up, we're going to go onto a statistic figure. So with a statistic figure, it claimed that it had a 11.7% ROI, okay? And that's assuming best case circumstances, and it beat the S&P 500, okay? Which returned 6%, okay? This figure has been quoted ad nauseum by the people who are proposing these Lego thingers. Well, the thing is, this is the really deceptive part. They quoted the figure from October 2007, okay? So for the S&P 500. Now, you want to know why you don't want to quote that figure? So, if you want to know why, just you can comment in the section below. But that was the highest point for the S&P 500 before the GFC, okay? So it's literally the top point before the GFC, okay? So it only returned 6% from 2007. But let's just say you did it from October 2008 for the S&P 500. It returned 13%, okay? So you can see, you got to be very careful of this as well, because numbers and statistics can be deceiving depending on what your starting point does, okay? Media does this all the time. Industry funds do this all the time. I know I got my gripe from industry funds. They do this all the time where they compare from the worst possible figure to the best possible figure to stretch out their premium returns, okay? So the claim that the S&P 500 returns less than Legos is actually false. So that 13% is per annum, okay? So the stocks and shares and stuff like that still beat it, okay? Still beat it over that period. Like, if you probably take a long-term ROI, the share market is probably a lot stronger than the Lego market, and still is, because they're backed by real businesses that provide real income, and it's not basically secondhand scalping, which basically what Lego is, essentially. The Lego investing is. Now, I was very, like, skeptical of it as well, of that figure, because I'm just like, there's no way an investment can return that much. There's got to be something underlying it as well. Now, the thing underlying is it compares the S&P 500 versus Lego investing, okay? These two aren't the same, okay? Because the S&P 500 is a much larger sandpit and is able to be scaled, unlike the Legos, okay? The Legos cannot be scaled because if you have more people supplying the Legos, there's only a certain amount demand of Legos that people want. Therefore, the more people there is, the worse it gets. Someone actually put that in the Twitter response as well, and he just shrugged it off, being like, "Oh, it doesn't hurt me." And I'm like, if you're still dealing in the Legos, it does, and it will sting you. But now, my final analysis on the product of what I think it is. Basically, let's go for a few factors, okay? Legos, okay? So, the returns, okay? The returns. I'm just going to say, for a collectible, it's actually alright, for a collectible. Obviously, I don't really rate collectibles very high, given the fact that they have a lack of income. But, if you work hard on it, and you basically have storage on it, like, the returns can be fairly decent. So, the returns can be from a 5 out of 5 perspective to 1 out of 5. It is extremely volatile. Now, the quality of returns, I'm just going to give it a 2 out of 5, okay? The returns are skewed. They are there, but they're skewed, okay? They're skewed. You're actually better off going into shares and stuff like that as well. The risk of it, it's 5 out of 5 risk. It's highly risky. You got 3 key aspects of risk, which can just basically, like, the main reason why I give it 5 out of 5 risk is that you have inventory risk, obviously liquidity risk, and oversupply risk. It is a small sandpit, and so many little traps can essentially tank your investment, okay? So you can basically go from you making a gain for 1 year to just making a loss next year. Also as well, costs as well, cost of storage, and getting no income during the period where you are holding it. The longer you're holding, the worse it gets, basically. So basically, returns are sketchy, very volatile. Risk is very, very high. I don't think the returns justify the risk that you put into it, personally. Okay. Now, wackiness of this idea. So it's a random thing. The wackiness of an idea. I'm probably gonna give it a 3 out of 5 for wackiness. The reason why it's wackiness, it's another collectible play. I just gonna say it's just an extension of Pokemon cards and stuff like that as well, where like they try to promote it as an investment, but it's just like every collectible. It's not very good. So I don't think it's really wacky. I don't think it's really out there. I think it's a bit average. And my final analysis: do I think it's a good idea? No. Okay, I think it's a terrible idea. The reason why I think it's not a great idea at all is just the risks, the storage, and stuff like that. A lot of people say, they get free time and stuff like that, but I think that's just all huff and puff, to be honest. Overall, don't think it's a really good idea compared to just stock standards, stocks and shares investing. It performs quite well. You got something to back you up. You can still generate income in the meantime as well. While with Legos, it's kind of hit or miss, like collectibles in general. You're at mercy of the market on whether people are nostalgic or they prefer your set over another or complete oversupply. While the share market and stuff like that, those issues aren't really apparent because the sandpit's a lot bigger. Like I say, overall, if you're thinking about it, you can go into it if you want, go into your own peril. Do I think it's a good idea though? Nah, I think it's not a good idea at all. And yeah, if you guys got any other wacky business ideas that I should probably take a look at, feel free to comment below. I'll take a deep dive into it, talk about, the various costs associated, various risks associated, and, just hopefully, one of these videos do help you out. Anyways, guys, hope you have a good one. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe.